This is Ujjwal Marothi and this is my report on basics of MATLAB. So first we start with an array of elements. In this we store in A we store elements from 1 to 10 and then we print display A. And once we do this, we get this printed over here. Then we add 3 to all elements of A and we get this over here. Then we take a matrix X and this printed over here. Then Y is X transpose. Basically we transpose the matrix X and it is stored here in Y, and this which is this. Then we multiply two matrices X and Y and the result comes out to be this thing. Then we do element by element multiplication by using this function and we get this thing. And then by this function we basically only consider the fourth column of the matrix X, and which is this. And then we take X in this, basically we take 2 to 4 columns and all the rows of the matrix X, which is this thing. And in X in this it is basically 3 to 5 rows of all of the matrix and 2 to 4 column. And if we do this we get here this thing. And in this X is 5, and by doing this basically we eliminate the fifth row of the matrix. Then let's come to the next part of the experiment and just run this code first. And in this X is basically from minus 10 to 10 with an increment of 0.5, and by using subplot basically divide this window into two parts, which is this, and the first column is this. So with y is equal to sin x, we plot X and Y, and by using grid on, basically a grid comes on this grid comes on the plot, by which we can like locate the values easily. Then stem function is used to discretely plot the values, and then hold function is basically used to plot the two plots on the same graph. And then X label, Y label, and legend. X label is used to mark the x-axis, and Y label is used to mark the y-axis, and legend is used to differentiate between the two plots which we have plotted on the same graph paper or graph sheet. And then comes this thing. In this we take two elements A and B and we save it in different formats by an AB file in mat txt xls, and we also save it in ASCII value, and by using the type function we basically print those values on the screen, which like this thing. So this is the first byte, this is the type, so we get these two values printed over here. Then we make a structure by using this thing, and in wave first we we save the file in new struct.mat, and then by using the hose we basically print the what are the details of the details of the structure, which is this thing which is over here. Then comes this thing, we take x y y2 and we save it in a example.mat file, and then basically z equal to 3. By using this append we add the value of z is equal to 3 to this file as well, and then the details of it are printed, and as we can see the z is also added to the x and y file which was considered before. And write cell and read cell, basically in this we can first make a cell, like just run the program first, and this is the cell. And write cell basically stores this cell in random text ls, and by using the red cell we can basically print this value. Basically we can read this value, and we read the file random.xls, and which is A, and which is printed over here. So now let's come to the next part, which is D, and this is basically the same as cell, and instead of cell there is matrix here. First we consider a matrix 3 into 3 matrix which is randomly selected. Then we write the map in store the matrix in matrix.xls, and then we basically read the matrix, which is basically the same as cell. And let's come to the next part. In this at MATLAB also can do things with sound. First we load the sound, and by audio write we save the sound. Y and fs, y stores basically the data, and fs the frequency or the change in data. For just run the code, and once we run the code we can hear a sound. Now let's come to the next part. In this we basically make a quadratic equation of which a is 1, b is 3, and c is 2, and this x basically it's an array of two elements, and it stores the roots of the equation ax square plus bx plus c, as you can see, -1 and -2. And we take another function which is x is equal to -5 0 point with an increment of 0.5 till 10, and this is the function. Then we plot x and y. First let's close this and run the code again. This is the file. So we get from -5 to 10 the curve of equation, this equation. So now let's come to the next part, which is the fourth one. This basically contains many functions. Let's just run the code first. uh, yeah. Hmm. Yeah, basically first is the repellum, and we consider first a matrix. Repellum basically like 2, so there like this matrix will be multiplied 2 row wise, and the first, and then this part will be multiplied two times down the column, and this will be multiplied 3 times. Then comes the next function, which is repmat. It's repeat copies of array. Then first we consider a 1 2 3 like this 1 2 3, and 1 2 3 is basically it is done two column wise and then 3 row wise. And a is equal to I3. It basically constructs an identity matrix of size 3 into 3, which is this one. Then 0 considers 0 matrix of size 2 into 3, which is this. Then a considers what's 2 into 3, which is this one. Then rand function, it considered 3 into 3 matrix of random integers, random numbers, which is this one. Then then comes the reshape function. In this, a is from 1 to 10, and reshape it basically 1 to 10. It increases by 1 till 10, and there are 2 rows and 5 columns. Then we get this matrix. Then C basically concatenates values. Like first we take A is ones of 2, B, and B is zeros of 2. So 1 1 1 0 0 0, we get this thing here by using the concatenate. Then this thing can be even vertical and horizontal on the basis of dimension, which we have selected here. Then comes the horizontal concatenate and vertical concatenate, which I've just explained. Then comes the diagonal matrix. Diagonal matrix are 2 functions. It can either create a diagonal matrix, or it can also select the diagonal elements from a matrix. Then comes the block diagonal matrix. We consider ones of 2 and 2 into ones of 3. Then we get this thing. Then B flip LR basically flips a matrix from left to right, and flip up down, flip UD, it flips up and down from like up and down. Then comes the rotate by 90 degrees. So this basically rotates all the elements by 90 degrees. Then we have tri L. It is a lower. We get the lower triangular matrix by this. Then the tri U. From this we get the upper triangular matrix. And then the next thing is circular shift. It basically shifts all the elements circularly. Then length gives the highest length of the array which we have considered. Then comes the size. It just gives the size of the array. In this case, it should be 2 into 3, which is this thing. Then come the n dimensions. It basically tells there are the number of dimensions. For like in this is 3 into 3 matrix, so 3 into 3 should consider 2 elements. So this is 2. Then next comes the num_l. It basically gives the number of all the elements in the matrix, which in this case is 6. Then comes the is empty matrix. In this it gives determine whether array is empty, like one of the dimension is 0 or not. If yes, it gives a logical 1, else it gives 0. Now let's come to the next part of the experiment, which is loops. First, just run the code first. Yeah. So while loop, it basically this code is run again and again until this condition is satisfied. Until this condition is satisfied, this code runs again and again. So in this, we consider the factorial of 5, which we get out to be 120. Then same is for for loop as well. For loop, in this also the same thing is done. Basically, factorial of 5 is calculated by till this condition is like the number of times this condition is satisfied, this code will run and we get the value of factorial. Now this is basically nested loops, which is for inside a for loop. And by considering this for loop, we get this thing. And then there is continue and break. So continue is basically used when we don't need the rest amount of code, and we need to go back again to the start of the code with the next value of the iteration. And break is basically used when we need to get out of the for loop and we don't need to run the for loop again. So yeah, now let's come to the if else statements and just run this code. Yeah, so basically we take n as 10, and when we use this function, if the statements comes out to be true, then yes is displayed, else the program is ended and nothing is to be printed. And then we also use the if else statement. In this, basically if this condition is satisfied, yes is printed, else if this condition is satisfied, then no is printed. And then so basically in this 9, so 9 mod 2, it's not satisfied, so we get a no here. And then this is basically if else statements. In this, basically first this statement is done. If this comes out to be true, then we directly end this,